Well, hello everybody. This is Michael from Retirement Adventures Asia. I'm sorry that this is my first video since I've arrived in Thailand, but I had a reason, and the reason is a medical emergency, and that is what this video is about. I will be starting some other videos here in the next couple of days. I've already started a few. We'll go over that later, but this is not clickbait, okay? This is true medical emergency information that you need to know. And as you can see, I'm sitting on my balcony. It's a gorgeous day out here, a little bit warm, but I'm okay with that. I'll go up. I'll have another video on my condo here, but I will go ahead and just give you a nice little view from my pool area here. Very huge, nice pool. Workout room right there. And they could have two kids' play areas that were on those mats. But then there's also two slides down into a bottom pool area, and then there's a kiddie pool to the right of that. But right now, I'm not going to go any more into that. I really want to cover this information for you. Now, I need to let you know I'm going to be looking down at my notes because I generally do all my videos on the fly, but this is very important. And when I say important, it's life-saving important, okay? When I arrived here, I got in at like 2 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend was there to pick me up at the airport with her friend, and we decided to go eat, and we're out until 4 o'clock in the morning. Ate a lot of spicy Thai food, and then we had busy days for 4 or 5 days, and just I exhausted myself, and I also did not hydrate like I should. Hydration is very important, guys, and you need to know that I didn't hydrate well enough. So I want to go over what happened. I experienced a shock to my system with the inadequate sleep from the trip here, the excitement of getting back here, the spicy Thai food after 7-month absence of spicy Thai foods. So now I want to go into doing this and telling you that on the night of November 9th, 8 days after I arrived, I started feeling really bad. And I was nauseated, but I only had dry heaves. And those dry heaves were coming from deep in my stomach and groin area, just really pulling on the muscles and everything. And I tried taking some of my own nausea medicine that I brought from the States through the night of the 10th. Well, it wasn't doing any good. I still had the dry heaves. I was having all kinds of groin pain from left to right. And my girlfriend said that was enough. She said, let's go to the hospital. And I'm like, okay. I will preface this with, I always have travel insurance. I will be getting expat insurance, but I have travel insurance. So highly recommended. So we went to the doctor. We went to the hospital on the morning of the 11th. And we went to Bang Lamang Hospital here in Pattaya. Let me see here. When we arrived, the hospital reminded me of a MASH unit. Now, Bang Lamang and Pattaya City Hospital are the only 2 government-owned hospitals in Pattaya. There's 4 others that are private hospitals. But I was feeling bad enough that I didn't make the decision. My girlfriend did of where we went. So we went to Bang Lamang. Again, it reminded me of a MASH hospital. When we first arrived, I had to go to one outside registration area in basically the arrival parking lot. And they do a first triage there. And in that first triage, they didn't believe that I was that bad, that I needed to go immediately in. So then they send you to a second area, which again is also outside. Yes, in the shade, but still outside of the hospital. Well, my girlfriend's trying to push me inside on a wheelchair. There's nobody to help her. And So a gentleman offers to help and takes us over to the second area. Very nice of him. The Pattaya people here are great. I will tell you that right now. So we get into the second area and we register there. We sit there for about 20 minutes and they ushered us into a third area where we had to, again, sign in. This was finally inside the hospital in the air conditioning. We've already been there for a little over an hour already. After registering in this third area, they then call your name and you have to go wait in line in front of one of the 9 or 10 exam room doors. So we get told where to go about 15 minutes after arrival and we're sitting at that door waiting. They finally call us in for that exam and I believe, doctor or triage nurse, whoever it was like, okay, you need to go back out into that waiting area again and we're going to have someone come get you and take you to the emergency room. Well, they took me to the emergency room and took me inside, did some vitals, and immediately put an IV in me, which I had no problem with. I knew I needed hydration, and so I had no problem with that. They also gave me some nausea medicine inside that IV. Alright, so they also drew blood at that time for some blood tests. About, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes before the IV was done, the only person I've been talking to is the nurse. And the nurse comes up to me and says, listen, he says, you need to have surgery. And I'm like, excuse me? He says, yeah, you have groin pain and you have an elevated high white blood cell count. And he said, you need to have your appendix removed. Are you willing to do that now? And at first, I'm thinking, okay, we're medical professionals, and I'm like, well, I guess I am, yes. And he says, okay. So he goes off, and I then start to think to myself, and I have family in the medical field. I have been to the doctor many times. I know how the system works. And for one thing, I had not seen the doctor. No doctor had come and seen me at my bedside inside that ER. It was always the nurse. So I'm thinking back to myself, they're making the call that they want to take out my appendix because of groin pain in the right and because of an elevated white blood cell count. Well, for those of you that don't know, and sitting there thinking about all this, the elevated white blood cell count can be for many reasons. It's the elevated white blood cell count is meaning your body is fighting an infection. Yes, it could have been an infection to the appendix, it could have been an infection to the liver, it could have been any infection. Your body is just trying to fight those infections. So I'm thinking to myself, I've not seen the doctor, and he wants to take out my appendix right now. Based on that, no ultrasound, no x-ray, or CAT scan, okay? Generally, in the medical field, when they're going to do that type of surgery and eliminate a body part from you, they will do one of those tests to rule out that maybe you don't have appendicitis or whatever the case may be with an organ inside your body. They have not done that. And so I made a quick call to my sister who works in the hospital, and she asked one of the triage nurses there, and they said, no, don't do that. So I said, thank you. I kind of already had the idea that I should not have said yes to the nurse. The nurse comes back and says, okay, we have a surgeon ready. Are you ready to go? You need to sign this paperwork. I said, no, I'm going to refuse the surgery. And the nurse then began to say, well, you know, you really need this. This could blow up on your appendix in 72 hours could just burst. And I'm like, you don't even know that it is my appendix. You have not done any type of X-ray or ultrasound or CAT scan to eliminate that possibly being the problem. You're only going by my white blood cell count, which means I have an infection somewhere within my body. And I want to sign a waiver releasing you of any responsibility for letting me leave. I says I am going to leave. I don't believe you have the correct diagnosis. So at this point, by the way, they don't let anybody in with you unless you're a child or an elderly person. So my girlfriend is sitting out in the lobby for 2 hours already that I've been in the ER. And to make matters worse, the nurse goes out and gets my wife, girlfriend, I call her my wife, and she comes in and he explains to her, and knowing, I don't know how well you guys know Thai ladies, but they worry about their man. And she was informed by him that I could die. Well, that doesn't sit right with me. You're going to go in and going to tell my partner that I'm possibly going to die on a diagnosis that you probably got wrong and done wrong. And that made it even worse, because now she's saying, well, you should not refuse the doctor, and they say that you could die, I know my body. I have made a phone call. I made the decision that the doctor had it all wrong. I know that those dry heaves just contracted all the muscles in my lower groin area because I had the dry heaves all night, actually for 36 hours. So, to make a long story short on that, we leave. And we go home. They did give me some medication, which I did take for the first day, but I'd already started feeling better. And I stopped taking the medication after one day and just made sure I hydrated, and I continued on with just taking care of myself. And lo and behold, 3 days later, not a single problem. I'm feeling better, not the greatest. I did go to a clinic 3 days later and had them do some tests just to see if I had a cold or anything of that sort, because I was sneezing and coughing and everything. And I think I was still dehydrated. So believe it or not, you can go into most clinics here in Pattaya and you can request that they give you an IV. And that's what I did. I got an IV, and 2 days after that, I'm perfect. All right, guys, my appendix has not burst. I have no groin pain. I'm actually going down to the exercise room that they have here at the condo and exercising 2 hours a day. Do not go to Bangladesh Hospital. Okay? And I've got a reason for telling you that. For one, we already have now heard my story about them wanting to take out a perfectly good body part of mine. And number two, my girlfriend got sick. I will tell you that I thought maybe she had a stroke or something, because the side of her face drooped down a little bit and her eye drooped down, and we decided to go to the hospital. Well, this time she chose a different hospital, I think because of my experience at Bangladesh. So we went to the only other government-owned hospital in Pattaya, which is Pattaya City Hospital. A little bit better than a MASH unit, but I still did not agree with how they handled things there. Some nurses wore uniforms, some nurses wore regular clothing. It wasn't structured. Anyways, we went in and she was seen, and they washed out her eye, and they told her she might have Bell palsy, which is a nerve condition. Well, I know my girlfriend. I know that about 10 days earlier she had gone in. She is more into this beauty stuff than a lot of Thai women, but a lot of Thai women are into this. Matter of fact, they have clinics all over that are open for 12 to 16 hours a day that do Botox and treatments for Thai ladies that are continually wanting to make themselves beautiful. And my girlfriend's always telling me, I want to be beautiful for you. And I tell her, you are beautiful. You don't need this. Anyways, she had some injections, small ones, nothing huge. She wasn't trying to change a lot. And I thought that it could have been a reaction to those injections because they were up here near her eye area and then some down near her jawbone. And she had the drooping jaw, she had the drooping eyelid. So I'm thinking that to myself, and so I talked to a couple of our friends here in Pattaya and explained to them, and they said, you don't want to go to any of the hospitals here. They said, you want to go to a hospital called Sriracha Hospital, and that's in Sriracha, not in Pattaya. It's about an hour away. And I told myself, I said, okay, let's do that. Let's take her to Sriracha and get a different opinion. So right now, we have decided that night to go to Sriracha. Well, we arrived at Sriracha Hospital, and they had her in there so quick, it was great. Unlike the other hospitals that made us wait and wait and wait, Sriracha had her back in the ER within, I want to say, 10 minutes of arrival. Gorgeous, very well maintained hospital that will compete with a lot of other countries' hospitals, including America. And very clean, everyone in uniform, staff very well trained. So we took her back and they brought her out, and about 30 minutes later we said, listen, we want to schedule her with a neurologist, which is the right diagnosis. You're having nerve problems with the eyelid and the jawbone, and I'm like, okay, not a problem. Unfortunately, she does not have insurance, so we did have to pay out of pocket for that. But I will tell you that, and I'll go over the cost of everything, including my visits, even though I did not have to pay for them. And you'll understand that even though they were just general care type hospital visits, they were very inexpensive. But anyways, back to my girlfriend's issue. They said we want to schedule her with a neurologist in a couple of days. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. We make the appointment to come back and see the neurologist. Well, at the time, I'm like, okay, it only took 15 minutes for us to get in and have her seen. I said, you know what, let's have me checked out. So I told the nurse, I said, well, I'm not experiencing any pain or anything, but I would like to get a checkup. I would like to have my blood drawn. I would like to have a doctor look at those results and talk to me. And I explained to them what happened at the other hospital, and they were, okay, yeah, not a problem. Well, my visit took a little bit longer. We had to go to a different area of the hospital. I think it was about 30 minutes before I got in to see the doctor. And I explained to him what had happened, and he said, okay, we'll schedule the blood test, and if the blood test comes back to where we think we need to do an ultrasound or the CAT scan or x-ray, we'll do that. And so I go back and I have my blood drawn. They said, okay, it's going to take about an hour for the results. Okay, fine, I have no problem, it's my health. I really wanted that second opinion. Well, we decided to sit down and wait, and about an hour later, they call me back. Doctor looks at me and says, you're fine. He says, your white blood cell count is actually a little 2 points low, and your red blood cell count is 2 points high. He says, but that's nothing to worry about. He said, well, I do worry about your blood pressure. I said, you know what? I said, my blood pressure is because I'm worried about my girlfriend, and we came in here because she's having this issue, and I am concerned with my health. I said, so I think my blood pressure is still a little high because of all that worry and stress. And he says, you're probably right. He says, but check your blood pressure in 2 weeks. Well, coming up on that 2 weeks now, I'll be doing that again. But I was happy that I was able to go in and get that second opinion. Now, I'll go a little bit further into what happened with my girlfriend, but I wanted to tell you about the cost, okay? The cost for my visit to Bangalore, if I would have had to have paid for it, would have been right around 4,000 baht. I got an IV, I was seen by a nurse, and had my blood drawn and had blood tests done, alright? And 4,000 baht in Thailand was roughly around $120, $125. So as you can see, it's not that expensive, but still get that insurance because you have a major event. It's not going to just be $120 US or 4,000 baht. Then my girlfriend's visit to Pattaya City Hospital was pretty close to 4,000 baht also. Then our visit to Sriracha. Well, my visit to Sriracha, seeing a doctor, having my blood drawn, was a total of maybe $55 US American, right around 1,400 baht. And her visit, which again we had to pay for because she does not have insurance, was approximately 3,400, 3,500, so pretty close to a little over $100 in US American. We then scheduled the second appointment with a neurologist. We she was seen by the neurologist. They did blood tests. Then the neurologist said the blood test came back fine, but they wanted to do some electrostimulus to her muscles in her eyelid and her jaw, and sent us up to the rehabilitation center for that. After she was seen there and had the electrostimulus, we paid. We made a second appointment to come back this coming Thursday, and that bill came to a little over 5,000 baht. So we're talking $150, $175, which again in that hospital is cheap. Again, that hospital is very well maintained. I'm posting pictures here for you as I'm speaking so you can see the difference in these hospitals. But guys, I think I'm going to end this video. I'm going to tell you, I think you need to make sure you have expats insurance or travel insurance, get a non-deductible insurance. Now, mine did not require me to pay in advance and get reimbursed, but there are some that require, some hospitals, depending on your insurance, will say you need to pay us, then you need to get the money back from your insurance provider. So be sure to check with your insurance provider when you're getting that expats insurance or that travel insurance, and make sure that they say they pay direct to the hospital. And let them know where you're visiting so they can check their records and make sure they do pay direct to those hospitals. But if it's not a life-threatening condition, I would highly suggest you take the taxi to Sriracha from Pattaya. It's an hour drive. We had a friend that has a driver friend, and he drove us there the first time. Drove us there, sat for the 3 hours we were there, and drove us back. He only wanted 1,000 baht. I gave him 1,200 baht for sitting and waiting. The next trip to Sriracha for her second visit, we were there a little bit longer. We were there about 4.5, 5 hours. Again, he sat and he waited for us. He did only want 1,000 baht. I gave him 1,500 baht this time for waiting longer. I'll check with him and see if I can post his information for you in case you need a driver, but I don't want to post without his permission. He does not speak very much English. Luckily, my girlfriend is Lao, and so she was able to speak with him. But all in all, do not go to Bangladesh. And I would highly suggest that you not go to Pattaya City Memorial. Now, the 4 other private hospitals that are in Pattaya, that's up to you to do your research on and see if you want to go. If I have a life-threatening condition, and I'm told that I can be transported to Sriracha, I'm going to Sriracha. If I'm told that I don't have that or I'm incapacitated to where not, then it's going to be up to my girlfriend to make that decision, and if I'm with her. If I'm not, I have it written down in my wallet of where I want to be taken, and it's to one of the 4 private hospitals. I don't want to go to one of the government hospitals. So guys, that's my story. I wanted to make sure you all heard it, and I will tell you, I think they were just out to do that surgery and take my organ away and want to make some money off of the frying. If they weren't wanting to do that, then they were just being derelict in their duties, because I feel great. I'm working out every day for 2 hours now, and there was no reason that my appendix needed to be removed. Alright, so I'm going to cut this meeting and end it right here. I hope it's given you some great information on medical here in Pattaya. I and my girlfriend went out to the Pattaya Festival, Fireworks Festival, did some videos there. We're going to be posting those in the next few days. I've done a video of one of our favorite restaurants, and I'm going to do a video here on the condo. So look for those in the next few days. Until then, I'm hoping that you're all doing well and having a great day. And again, my apologies for not posting the video sooner, but minding her health is very important. I will keep you advised of how she's doing. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. And if you're ever in Pattaya, drop me a message. I'd like to meet with you, have a drink with you, meet you. It would be a great opportunity to meet other people. Until then, you guys have a great day. From Retirement Adventures Asia, this is Michael saying, see you soon.